Hey friends, welcome to SEL for the week. I hope you're having a great week. We are going to start today by reading a story. This story is called David Goes to School. I'm not sure if you've ever read the book No, David, but this is by the same author, and it's the same character, David. So again, it's called David Goes to School by David Shannon. David's teacher always said, "No, David, no yelling, no pushing, no running in the halls." "David, you're tardy." He's coming into class late. "Sit down, David." Look at that crazy face he's making. "Don't chew gum in class." Oh, he's making a mess. "David, raise your hand." He's blurting out, and this little girl over here is waiting so patiently with her hand up. "Keep your hands to yourself." Oh my goodness, he has got paint all over his hands, and he's going to touch that little girl. "Pay attention." Looks like he's daydreaming, and in the clouds you can see the dinosaurs. He's thinking about how there could be dinosaurs in the clouds. "Wait your turn, David." He's cutting in line. "I don't care who started it." "David, recess is over." He doesn't want to come inside. Shh. He's tapping with his pencils on his book like a drum. Does she look very happy? The teacher's not happy, and his friends are not happy. Again. He's got to go potty again. He's probably gone a couple times already. Teacher's getting frustrated. "That's it, mister. You're staying after school." See, he's drawing all over his desk. So now he has to stay after school. He is in big trouble. He had to wash all the desks. "David, have you finished?" "Good job, David." "Yes, David, you can go home now." So in this book, David goes to school. David is making a lot of bad choices at school. And I am going to shrink my screen down so that you can see this chart. And we are going to come up with what are all the things that David did that got him in trouble. Do you remember some of those things? So at the very beginning, the teacher says, "No yelling." And she says, "No pushing." And she says, "No running in the halls." Because we can run at recess, right? So I'm going to write no running in the halls, but also or the classroom. And I know that you guys are virtual, but when you come back to school, that's going to be a rule that the teachers will have. We don't run in the classroom, only outside. So what are some other things that he was doing? He was out of his seat. She says, "Sit down, David." So some things that he should not do is no getting out of seat. Oh, he was chewing gum in class. "David, raise your hand." So no blurting out, right? No interrupting the teacher. Make sure you're raising your hand when you have a question or something to say. Keep your hands to yourself. So no touching others, especially if you've got paint on your hands. What are some things you can do at school? Yes, you can what? Instead of no yelling, you can use an inside voice. Or a quiet voice, whisper voice. So she said no pushing and no touching others. Those kind of can go hand in hand. We keep our hands to ourselves, right? All right, so yes, keep hands to self. No running in the halls or the classroom. So instead, we're going to use walking feet. No getting out of seat. This would be like if it's during class time, during instruction, the teacher is teaching, you don't get out of your seat, so you stay in seat when teacher is talking. Because there are sometimes, right, where you can get up and move. But sometimes if your teacher is talking, you want to be seated and listening and paying attention. No blurting out, no interrupting. You're going to what? Raise your hand. And again, no touching others. I'm just actually going to take this and move it up here. Whoops. What happened? Oh, I know. All right, that's better. Okay. Anything else that you can think of? I know I can't hear you, but you can say those things if you're thinking of one right now. All right. So I am going to keep up this chart so that you can read some of our ideas. Yes, we can do these things, and no, we cannot do these things. And you should have gotten a paper that looks like this. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use what I just typed up right here. And that way you can copy right off the chart if you need to. Otherwise, you can come up with your own thing if you can think of something different. I'm going to use a marker so that you can read what I write. But this top line, it says, no, blank. There's an exclamation point there, just like David's teacher. When you're using an excited voice or a shouting voice, you have an exclamation point. And your name is going to go right here. So I'm going to write my name right on that line. So it says, no, Mrs. King. Do not, and then you're going to write one of these things under the no column. So I'm going to write right at the top, I'm going to say no yelling. Do not yell. And then I'm going to draw a picture of myself. I'm just going to draw a stick person. In this square, I'm not very good at stick people. I'll show you in just a minute. This looks pretty silly. I want you to take your time on yours. I'm just going really quick so I can show you. So I drew a picture of me yelling at this person over here. Hey! So it says, "No, Mrs. King, do not yell." I could also write, "No, Mrs. King, do not push. Do not run in the classroom. Do not get out of your seat." So that is what you're going to do with that paper. Make sure your picture looks beautiful. Mine is not so great. So you can do that now. Pause your video and do that now. Or you can come back to it after you've watched the video. But you might want to use this chart for your words to make sure you're spelling your words right. Or if you just need to remember what those ideas were. Or you can come up with your own, whatever you would like. All right. The last thing you're going to do is make a puppet. So you should have gotten a paper bag. And yours will look like this. And there's a body. I need you to cut out your pieces. I'm missing one. Uh-oh. So you should have the top of David's head. You should have his body. And you should have his mouth. I have mine right here. But I lost it. Oh no. Not sure what happened to it. So anyway, that's okay. I will explain what to do. You are going to have a glue stick. That is really going to bother me where I put that. All right, I'm going to make my screen bigger so that you can see this well. You're going to take your paper bag, and there's a little fold here. Make sure that the open part is at the bottom. Turn this way. And the flap is on the front. You don't want the flat side. You want the part that can move like this. And you are going to glue, here's my glue David's head, the top of his head, to the part that moves, the flappy part. So I'm going to glue his head right here. And some of it will be sticking up over the top. So what I think I'm going to do is put my glue here. I'm going to put it all over that flappy part and then just glue David's head right on. So I'm going to do that right now so that you can see what it looks like. So I put my glue all over the flap. And I'm just going to stick David's face right on top. And press it down really good so it looks like this. Make sure your paper where you cut it on that dotted line lines right up with the flap. So he can kind of open his mouth, can't he? And I'm going to have to cut out because I want you to see where to put the body. So I'm going to have to cut out another mouth. I just don't know what I did with that. It's sitting right there. And I know as soon as I cut out another one, I'm going to find it. That's okay. Let's get my scissors. And I'm just going to cut out the bottom part of his mouth. So we have the bottom part of his mouth. And that is going to line up. Do not open it. Keep it shut. And you're going to line this dotted line where you cut up like it was like the papers are attached to each other. So I will show you that. I'm going to put the glue on this piece this time so that I know that it lines up just right. My glue stick is not a very good one. So I have this part of his mouth. So the two white pieces come together. Which actually, I wonder if it'll look better if I move it. Oh, that looks okay. He's just got a large gap in his mouth. All right, so now comes the body. And you're going to, the arms and the legs will stick off the sides, but you're going to line up his neck right with where his mouth ends. So see his feet are sticking off the bottom a little bit, and his hands are sticking off the sides, and that's okay. So I'm going to put glue on David's body. Try not to put glue all the way up his hands because remember, they're going to stick off the sides. I just did that. I just put the glue too far up. So that is okay. It will dry. Just don't let it get stuck on anything. So here's my David. Just see his hands stick off the sides a little bit. Here's my David puppet. So now you can stick your hand into the open part and you have a No David puppet. You can open his mouth, put your hand right there in the top. And if you wanted, you could be silly and draw a tongue. If you wanted, you don't have to. Color it red. So when you open your mouth, I don't know how this is going to look. I just totally made this up right now. No, that doesn't look right. So I don't think you want to draw a tongue in there because the bottom of his mouth's down here. So that didn't really work out. I thought it'd be funny. So here's your No David puppet. And he's just something fun to remind you about our lesson of No David. And to make good choices when you are in the classroom or when you're on your virtual meet. You can, before you cut the pieces, would probably be the easiest. If you would like to color him, that is totally fine. Would add a little bit to your puppet and make it a little bit more fun. You can color him. I would color him first and then cut it out. I didn't color it just because I didn't want you guys to sit here and watch me color a puppet. But if you want to color it just like the book, here's David. He's wearing red pants, a blue and white striped shirt, and white shoes. So I hope you have fun making your No David puppet, and I hope that you choose to make the right choice in class and think about that chart we made and the yes and the no. What shouldn't we do and what can we do instead? So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you all for SEL next week. Bye, everyone.